Hello YouTube and welcome back to Kanto PIDA Weekly Show. This is week numero 7, so we are officially roughly about halfway through the season. So this is things where hopefully things will start heating up to see who's going to win, who's going to get relegated, who's going to stay yellow table mediocrity. We'll find out in today's video, because if you missed it on last week's, I highly recommend you check that out, because there was some stellar games last week, and hopefully today will be the same. Now, before we get into the video, trades. There's been one trade active for week number 7, which was the Honolulu Holuchas, coached by Kyle, has dropped his Tier 1 Uxie for his Tier 1 Dragon Knight. Now, obviously, he got as a replacement coach, so it wasn't his squad, so we got, I can't remember if he got 2 free trades. I actually can't remember. My memory's appalling. But he dropped his Uxie through Dragonite because Uxie was more like more of a bulkier kind of Pokemon. Obviously wanted more. Dragonite can be physical and offensive. Uxie can't really be offensive as well as Dragonite can. So Dragonite's now a part of the Honolulu Hoochers and quite possibly could make his debut this week. Now, as you can see on the screen, we kick off with a big game to start with. Definitely for pushing for those green spots at the top of the table. We have the Wellington Ho-Ho, coached by Starving Pig, versus the Sinnoh Starlets, coached by Sean and Blind Messiah. And obviously, Sinnoh Starlets are currently, unbeaten. Wellington Ho-Ho, I think, are 5-1 or 4-2, something like that. They're up there. They're pushing like 3rd, 4th sorts area. So it's gonna be a big game, top of the table clash. So Sinnoh Starlets have brought Volcarona, Araquanid, Mega Marwile, Bishop, Mimikyu, and Nidoking, whereas the Wellington Ho-Ho have brought Donphan, Celesteela, Tyranitar, Mega Charizard X, Necrozma, and Rotom Wash. So webs are obviously on Sean's side of this field with Araquanid. Webs with Mega Marwile and Mimikyu can put in the work against this team, especially with Tyranitar being weak to Mimikyu. Charizard's going to be neutral to Mimikyu. I would say Mega Marwile could do a Charizard X, but it can't, because obviously it's weak to Fire, it's not weak to Fairy and whatnot. So once Charizard X and Celesteela are out of the way, I think Mimikyu can put in the work. Honestly can. Obviously he's got Nidoking, which can be just a Gen 1 move pool King, as you probably saw last week. And obviously Donphan on the Wellington Ho-Ho side can be Rocks. Celesteela can be Stall Elite Seed, it can be Autotomized Air Slashing Shenanigans. Tyranitar, the bulky boy. Zardex, obviously Monster Zardex. Necrozma, because it's another bulky boy. Rotom Wash can be bulky boy, can be special attacking, hard hitting Hydro Pump boy. So let's jump into the game and see how this one pans out. So, the Sinnoh Starlets versus the Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash Volt switches out. And here comes the Celesteela. Sean gets the website as predicted at the preview of the battle. Goes for Elite Seed. Liquidation gets the defense drop on the Celesteela. So Sean switches out into his Nidoking as the Celesteela goes to protect. Gets some HP recovery on that. Switches out into his Tyranitar as it goes for the Flamethrower, I do believe. Now this Flamethrower did absolutely nothing to this Tyranitar. Now, after the game, I found out that this Tyranitar was Assault Vested, so it was probably it's probably max HP, max attack, more than likely. So, or that similar variant. So it had Sandstream boosted special defense. It had on the Assault Vest boosted again in special defense. It's got quite decent special defense stat to start with. So it's just a special war from the Assault Vest. It really is. It really freaking is. So this Flamethrower did absolutely nothing to Tyranitar. So goes for the superpower, which OHKOs the Tyranitar. Now, Wellington Ho-Ho's were probably thinking, oh, it's a special Nidoking because it went for Flamethrower. I can stay in because it went out superpower. And then it's a mixed Nidoking and goes for superpower, and I'm like, oh, okay, GG. Okay, goodbye. And the Nidoking was Life Orbed, where I'm thinking, hang on. Sheer Force doesn't actually affect Life Orb damage because it's like added damage, so it won't be affected by it. So the likes of... So it was obviously either Rivalry, which would have been I don't know, or Poison Point. So I think that was a mistake on Sean's part in the Sinnoh Starlets, but it may have done something, but doesn't matter because the Rotom Wash just OHKOs with a Rotom Wash with Hydro Pump, and then this Rotom Wash burns the Bishop, but Bishop is Lumberry, so that bird means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely buggery. So good play there, but goes to the knockoff and knocks off the Iappa berry off the Rotom Wash. So gets buffed by Sandstorm. Sean switches out into his Volcarona as he Will-O-Wisp stat. Predicting Will-O-Wisp, he goes out into his Volcarona. Sandstorm subsided as he goes for the Bug Buzz, just to make sure if he doesn't go out into the likes of the Celesteela or whatnot, because obviously all the Charizard predicting a Giga Drain. So he went for Bug Buzz just to make sure, because that definitely OHKO'd and we've done some damage to the Charizard nonetheless. So you go down to one time to go to Donphan, but Sean goes for the Flamethrower. Donphan lives and Volcarona dies to the incoming Earthquake. So should have switch back in, go for the Mimikyu, gets the Play Rough, gets the OHKO on the Donphan. So 3 Spoopy 5U goes for the Swords Dance against the Celesteela as it goes for Leech Seed up against it. So now Mimikyu's now +2, goes for Protect. Sinistar, let's predict this and go for another Swords Dance. That was +4, ×3 attack on this Mimikyu. As it goes for the Sherlock on the Celesteela, still does 52%. As the Celesteela goes for the Heavy Slam, breaking the sub, but the Mimikyu was holding a red card, which is like mad. Mimikyu was holding a red card, so once it broke the disguise, the Mon would switch out into something else, which is I'm speechless. I've never in the life of me thought the Mimikyu would be holding a red card, but it was. So the Cosmo comes out, which is a pretty bad matchup because obviously it's a Psychic type. So Mimikyu goes for the Shadow Claw against the Necrozma, which OHKOs it, even with its ability, which is like what's the ability? Multi-scale. So goes into the Celesteela, knowing it will outspeed, switches out into his Mega Marwell. As Celesteela goes for Earthquake at -1, the Mega Marwell goes for Substitute. That was behind a sub. As Celesteela goes for Earthquake again, breaks the sub as it misses the Fire Fang, which is probably a very, very crucial miss, because if that Fire Fang had killed the Celesteela, that would have been game. That would have been game, because Mega Marwell probably would have killed the Celesteela with Fire Fang, because it was super effective. It's a huge powered Mega Marwell. That thing was dropping. I don't care what anyone says, that thing's dropping. And then the combination of Araquanid and Mimikyu and the rest of the team could probably have taken out the Mega Charizard X. So that miss was very, very crucial in this game. So misses the Fire Fang as Celesteela goes to Protect to try and get some recovery back off. As Mega Marwell goes to Fire Fang again, goes for Heavy Slam, which OHKOs the Mega Marwell, gets a defensive Beast Boost on his Celesteela. As the Bishop goes for knockoff his leftovers, as Celesteela goes for Earthquake against it, goes for the Iron Head just to get some flinches, I guess. Goes for Leech Seed, so Bishop is now Leech Seeded. Switches out into his Araquanid as Celesteela goes for Protect, as he switches out back into his Mimikyu, predicting Leech Seed. There we go. Goes out into Mimikyu. Goes for Destiny Bond, because there's no outspeed. Goes for Heavy Slam, and down goes the Mimikyu, taking down the Celesteela. So that's a very good play by the Sinnoh Starlets there, knocking out the threatening Celesteela against the team by sacking off his Mimikyu to the and as the Mega Charizard X Mega Evolves, he goes for the Dragon Claw, kills the Araquanid as Sucker Punch from this Bishop does nothing to Charizard X and kills it with a Flare Blitz. Now that's game number 1 over and done with. MVP of that game was definitely the Megazord X / Megazord X for the Wedge and Heroes part, because it just cleaned up late game. What it probably was meant to do in the game. Dragon Claw, Flare Blitz. Tyranitar was obviously once again assault vested, because they did absolutely nothing with that Flamethrower against the Nidoking. Rotom Wash was like Volt Switch, Iappa Power Berry, Will-O-Wisp, Hydro Pump. Got the kill against the Nidoking. So Revenge killed that. Donphan got the Earthquake kill. And the Necrozma obviously did nothing, because it got red carded out in front of the +4 Mimikyu, which couldn't have a Shadow Claw even with its multi-scale equivalent ability boost to it. Because +4 Mimikyu, you're not living as +4 stab super effective hit. I'm sorry. And the Celesteela obviously was a fair problem for the Sinnoh Starlets in that game. If it wasn't for the Mimikyu Destiny Bond, it could have potentially been a 2-0 game. Or possibly, yeah, a 2-0 game, because Celesteela is just a problem. It really is. I'm just glad it's not in Johto. Plugging. Obviously, the Mimikyu on the Sinistart side was very crucial for the Sinistarlets because it got to +4, got a kill on the Necrozma, got a kill on the Celesteela, got a kill on the, was it the Donphan? I think it was the Donphan. So yeah, very crucial in that game. Destiny Bond red card was a fantastic step to bring. Unfortunately, it didn't. It kind of paid off because it kept the differential down, but I think if the crucial play in this game was the Fire Fang miss against the Celesteela, because that Celesteela would have dropped to that Fire Fang and potentially could have turned the game, because I don't think Megazord X could have killed the Mimikyu, the Bishop, the Arachnid, and the Mega Marwile before it got O-code. I don't think it could have done. I might be telling lies there, but I honestly did not see it actually putting in the work from going from that side down. So GG to Ho-Oh, and Sinistarlets are now not unbeaten anymore. Only the Black Sea Curums as of this stage are unbeaten in this league. So this league is getting very close, which is what I was planning on this league to be when I first created it way back when. Now we move on to game number 2, where we move on to said coach, the Black Sea Curums, coached by Zombie, versus the Boston Cyndaquils, coached by Dylan, and the Black Sea Curums are rocking Clefable, Slowbro, Gliscor, Mega Medicham, Comfey, and Tornadus, whereas the Boston Cyndaquils are rocking Tapu Fini, Komodo, Mega Gallade, Diggersby, Kartana, and Incineroar. Now, Mega Medicham putting the absolute finest of work last week. Can it do it this week? I'm not so sure, because there's an Incineroar there, which can put away against it. There's a Tapu Fini, which pretty much walls it unless it's rocking Poison Jab or whatnot. It's got Mega Gallade, so it'll be Mega Psychic Fighting type versus a Mega Psychic Fighting type. Which one's the true powerhouse? We'll find out in today's game. And Kartana, obviously, doesn't really match up well against the Mega Medicham. So Mega Medicham, if he can get rid of that Gallade and that Tapu Fini and the Incineroar, if he can whittle them down with the other Mons, Mega Medicham can potentially sweep again as it did last week. Clefable, it's a good bring because it walls the Komodo pretty much. If it wants to set up Dragon Dance with it, or its Z move, if it wants, obviously the Diggersby as well, if it gets to get Source Dance up on that, can potentially wall that. Slowbro walls pretty much most of his team minus the Kartana and the Incineroar. Gliscor, he usually brings Evasion, Baton Pass, Swords Dance, or Agility, or whatever Baton Pass mod to potentially sweep with the likes of the Slowbro or the Tornadus or the Mega Medicham. Comfey likes to bring Comfey. Priority healing is always a good thing, and obviously the regenerated core on the Tornadus. Whereas Dylan's side obviously has got Kartana, which is an absolute monster because it's got ridiculously high attack stat. If it has it gets decent stab, Sacred Sword, Psychic Cut. So if it had a better move pool, it would have been busted, broken, whatever, but can still put in the work. Mega Gallade, I've seen Mega Gallade put in work in UCC. He's putting work in this league, so maybe Mega Gallade and Mega Medicham will battle out and see which one's the best Mega, like I said before. Tapu Fini is the wall, the best defogger probably in the game, so if you want to bring rocks on his Gliscor, you can get rid of them with defog. Komodo, obviously Z move, has been MVP so far as well, so we've got 2 MVPs battling out against each other this week. Incineroar's obviously Intimidate, can put in the work, shutting down the Mega Medicham mainly, getting -1, can shut it down, and obviously Diggersby is just a Diggersby though. So let's jump into this game and see how this one goes. Out comes the Tornadus versus the Kartana. Kartana switch out into the Incineroar to get Intimidate drop off on the Tornadus. As it U-turns out, they're revealing the Life Orb damage out into his Mega Medicham. Predicting the high jump kick, he switched out into his Tapu Fini. Some Mega Evolves gets the Poison Jab, predicting the Tapu Fini switch here, which is a very good play there by the Black Sea Curums. Out comes the Incineroar, getting the -1 on the Mega Medicham. As it goes for the Drain Punch on the Komodo, still does nearly half to a Komodo, even at -1. This appears that Mega Medicham is a beast. Switch out into Incineroar, get double Intimidate off, predicting the Zen Headbutt. Goes into Gliscor, goes into Tapu Fini, double switch there. Gliscor gets his Toxic Orb off, goes for the Poison Jab. Tapu Fini lives, but gets the poison because Mr. Train is gone. Scald doesn't do enough to kill this Gliscor, but you'll very rarely see a Tapu Fini die to poison. So that's always something. PIDA first. As the Mega Gallade goes for Ice Punch, predicting the Glalie. not the Glalie, the Gliscor switching, as he goes for a Draining Kiss against his Incineroar, which does absolutely nothing to the Incineroar. So I think the Incineroar must be a bulky boy. Out comes the Gliscor as he goes for the U-turn. U-turns out into his Mega Gallade versus the Gliscor. Revealing the Ice Punch, he switches out into his Comfey, where he goes for Ice Punch again, which the Boss and Tentacles do. Switches out into his Kartana, picking the Draining Kiss, out to the Gliscor. As the Kartana goes for Swords Dance, the Gliscor goes for Roost. So Gliscor now back at full health. This Kartana is at +2. Goes for knockoff, knocks that Toxic Orb as the Gliscor goes for Earthquake, which does pretty much nothing, 40% to this Kartana. Goes for the Leaf Blade, OHKOs the Gliscor and gets a Beast Boost, so this Kartana's now +3, so he can put in the work. Switch down to Incineroar versus the Tornadus, as he goes for the Dark Pulse, which does nothing to Incineroar. Goes for the U-turn on the Incineroar, switches out, -1 attack, Life Orb doesn't do that much damage, out to his Clefable, goes for knockoff, knocks off his Leftovers, as it goes for the Moonblast, which does once again nothing. So I'm thinking this Incineroar is Assault Vested. So it goes out into his Kartana versus this thing, goes out into the Tornadus, it goes for the Smart Strike, which does a lot of damage, and for all this time I thought Flying resisted Steel, which obviously it didn't. So out comes the Comfey versus the Komodo as he goes for the Poison Jab. Comfey lives on 14%, gets him in recovery off as he switches out into his Kartana, goes for Draining Kiss, still does 22% to this Kartana, gets him recovery off with this thing, goes out into his Clefable, sacking it off, I would imagine, which he does. Down, gets the +1 on his Kartana, out comes Jupiter, knowing it can't stay in against this thing, goes for the Air Slash, down goes the Komodo, and Tornadus is putting in the work. Out comes Diggersby, as he goes out into his Slowbro, goes for Agility to get a +2 speed on his Diggersby, goes for Return, Slowbro lives on 25%, reveals the Life Orb, goes for Scald, Diggersby lives on 10%, goes for Return to get the OHKO on the Slowbro, dies to Life Orb Recoil, so down goes the Diggersby, out comes the Gallade versus the Tornadus. He U-turns out against this Mega Gallade into his Mega Medicham, goes for the Ice Punch, which does just under half, goes for the Poison Jab, which just does enough, but Mega Medicham kills his own Headbutt, and Mega Medicham dies to the poison gotten from the Poison Jab on the Mega Gallade. Out comes Jupiter versus Incineroar, goes for the Air Slash, and kills the Incineroar, goes for Dark Pulse because you know it kills the Kartana, and Tornadus late game sweeps with the Life Orb. And the Boston Cyndaquils, the Black Sea Hurums, are still undefeated in this league, 7 weeks in. Can they keep it up next week? We'll just have to wait and see. But Clefable obviously was Moonblast, didn't do a lot, got sacked off pretty much because of the Kartana to allow the Black Sea Hurums' other mons to help him win the game. Slowbro got the kill against the Diggersby, but it died. The Slowbro got the recoil kill from the Diggersby because Scourge is just about enough, but Diggersby OHKO'd the Slowbro and died to recoil. So Slowbro did put in work. Mega Medicham definitely put in the work, even at -1, did about half to the Mega Gallade. It did half to the Komodo as well, even at -1. So Mega Medicham is just a monster, it really is. Tornadus was the sweep, the MVP in this game, getting 3 kills, no deaths, obviously, because you'd see it flapping on the screen. Life Orb U-turn, Dark Pulse, Air Slash, just was able to sweep late game against the Kartana and the Incineroar with Air Slash and Dark Pulse. Comfey walled some hits, did its job, which what it needed to do, and Gliscor was obviously Roost, Earthquake, Poison Jab. Wasn't the usual evasion boosting baton passing set, was more of a threatening Gliscor set, so switching up, which I like to see, definitely like to see, like some switch ups. And obviously for the Boston Cyndaquils, Kartana, Swords Dancing, put in the absolute finest of work. Was scared against this Tornadus, probably because it couldn't touch it. Or thinking it had Heat Wave, probably. He's probably thinking it had Heat Wave, so that's why he didn't keep it in against this. But he didn't reveal Heat Wave, so we don't know if it did have Heat Wave. But if it didn't, a +3 Smart Strike would have killed this thing. So you never know. You never know what could have happened if he stayed in and did that. Obviously, Diggersby, we talked about that. Got the 1v1, both died to the Slowbro. Same with Mega Gallade, 1v1 versus Mega Medicham, both died, cancelled them 2 out. So pretty much, it was basically 4v4 because 2 of those mons cancelled each other out and just ended the game. Tapu Fini was poisoned, got poisoned with the Poison Jab when Misty Terrain was no longer up on the battle. So very rarely you'll see a Tapu Fini die to poison, but it did. Komodo got the poison jab. Didn't do enough to the Comfey, but here's what it is. And obviously Incineroar always Intimidate, U-turn, knock off and whatnot. Put in the work. So that is game number 2 over and done with. Next up, we have the new boy. With one of the new boys, we've got Boston Typhlosions, coached by David, versus the New England Blizzards, coached by Vixen. Now, Boston Typhlosion rocking Tapu Koko, Starmie, Mega Garchomp, Hawlucha, Toxapex, and Yanmega. Whereas New England Blizzards are rocking Crobat, Crocodile, Victini, Volcanion, Scizor, and Chansey. So, obviously for David's team, he's got a Kokolucha, which is like the top tier Hawlucha's trap. I've got a similar thing in UCC. Go check it out in the description down below. I've got Fini Lucha. It's not as... It still works. It works, but... It's everyone who goes Kokolucha, no one goes Fini Lucha. Who goes Fini Lucha? Me, but it doesn't matter. He's also got Starmie as well, which can be good rapid spinner if he brings rocks on his Crocodile or his Chansey. Mega Chomp can put in the work because Mega Chomp's a monster. Even though people say that Chomp's better than Mega Garchomp, depends on the situation. Because obviously Garchomp can be on Scarfed, it can be on Choice Band, it can be on Life Orb. It can put in more work. It's because Garchomp is more faster. Mega Garchomp is more attacking. So, understands it can put in the work. Under webs, it can put in the work. So, can potentially put in work in this game. Obviously, got Toxapex, the Wall of Dreams. Can't really be touched against the team rather than the Zen Headbutt on the Victini stab-wise. Or Earthquake Crocodile, but both of those don't really want to stay in against a Toxapex. Because obviously, it can be skull burned. Well, Victini can't, but it's got 100 base stats. I think Victini can wall a couple of skulls from a Toxapex for crying out loud. And Yanmega, interesting bringing Yanmega. I don't really see what it can do in this matchup. I'm being totally honest, apart from getting some speed boosts to outspeed the Victini probably, and then kill it with a Bug Buzz. That's all I'm saying. If he's bringing Z Celebrate Victini, that's the only reason I can see Victini being useful in this matchup. Obviously, once again, the Victini Z Celebrate has been brought to every single game. So, I'm imagining it's going to be Z Celebrate again. Is it Mega Scizor? No, it's just regular Scizor. Regular Scizor can put in the work, obviously against the Lucha. Not Lucha, the Koko, with Bullet Punch and whatnot. So, potentially can shut that thing down. Chansey is just the special defensive wall. Can wall the likes of... If the Chomp and Hawlucha are gone, Chansey can just sit there and just wall the Koko, wall the Starmie, wall the Toxapex, wall the Yanmega, and just go, yeah, I win. But that's Chance. But you have to get rid of the drag Mega Chomp Lucha, which is going to be very difficult in this matchup. Crocodile can put away against the Koko. If it's bulky enough to live a Dazzling Gleam, it can deal with the Tapu Koko. Hawlucha, it's not a very good matchup. To be honest, Crocodile doesn't have a great matchup in this game because there's Tapu Koko, there's a Starmie, there's a Hawlucha, there's a Toxapex, there's a Yanmega. All got super effective stab against it, so won't be very good in this matchup, if I'm being totally honest. Volcanion, I love my boy Volcanion. Used it way back when, ages ago. Can potentially put in the work once again if that Chomp and that Koko are out of here. Volcanion can put in the work. And Crobat is just a speedy boy, probably going to be U-turn Brave Bird. Possibly Toxic as well. We'll see how it goes. So let's jump into game number 3 and see how this one goes. So, Dave leads with the Tapu Koko versus the Scizor as he goes for the Bullet Punch, which does not a lot to the Tapu Koko as he Voltage out into his Mega Garchomp. The Mega Evolves, goes for Star Fox Ups as the Scizor goes for Bug Bite. Goes for the Swords Dance against it as the Scizor goes for Agility. Goes for the Bug Bite again, which does 34%. Goes for Dragon Claw. Even resisted Oko's the Scizor because it's +2 and Mega Garchomp's a monster with attack stat. Out comes the Crocodile, getting the Intimidate drop off on it. Goes for the Crunch. Garchomp lives as it goes for Earthquake. Goodbye! Goodbye, Crocodile. Crocodile does nothing in this game, like I said in the preview. Goes for the Cross Poison to get rid of that Garchomp as he switches out into his Yanmega. Goes for the Air Slash. Crobat lives. Goes for the Brave Bird. Nukes the Yanmega. Down goes that. So Crobat picks up 2 kills for the sacrifice of itself. So puts the New England Blizzards in a good light. Tapu Koko Volt Switch out against the Chansey, which is 12%, which is ridiculous. As the Chansey goes for Wish, Hawlucha goes for +1 defense behind a sub. As Chansey goes for Toxic. So Hawlucha goes for the bulk ups right now. Chansey goes for Seismic Toss and breaks the sub. Hawlucha goes for Drain Punch. It lives! My god, Chansey lives. Chansey's the bulky boy. Goes for bulky girl, sorry. Seismic Toss, there's a Drain Punch. Back to pretty much full on his Hawlucha. He'll jump into his Victini. As he goes for the Acrobatic, Victini lives on 3%, goes for Zen Headbutt, and doesn't kill the Hawlucha, but goes for the Drain Punch, so Hawlucha is picking up 3 kills now. Is that right? No, 2 kills, I'm telling a lie. Out comes the Volcanion. Volcanion lives the Drain Punch as he goes for Steam Eruption, and Oko's the Hawlucha. So Volcanion must have been a bulkier set to live that hit. Out comes the Tapu Koko versus the Volcanion. As he Volt Switches out, he stacks off the Volcanion because obviously it's last Mon. And David wins 3-0. That's a very quick game. A very quick game compared to last ones. Obviously, I was going to say, why didn't you switch out? And I remembered, oh wait, he's got no Mons left. He's got no Mons left. Ugh. But obviously, Mega Garchomp with Rock, Swords Dance, Dragon Claw, Earthquake. That was his complete moveset. We know the set. Obviously, this is Garchomp, obviously. Garchomp definitely putting the work in this game. Killing the Scizor and the Crocodile. Killing potentially 2 of his most physical threats on his team, which is very good. Tapu Koko got the final kill with the Volt Switch against the Volcanion. Hawlucha was Electric Seed Unburdened boosted with Drain Punch, Bulk Up, Substitute, and Acrobatics. Got the Unburdened boost against the Chansey, as it were. Subbed against it so it couldn't Toxic it. Then got to +1 Bulk Up and just repeatedly spammed Drain Punch and Acrobatics until Volcanion came down, lived the Drain Punch, I think did 30%, so I'm guessing Volcanion was a bulky set. Must have been a bulky set to live a +1. Was it +1? +1 Drain Punch from Hawlucha. So that Volcanion definitely helped cut down the differential in this game. And obviously, Yanmega, same in the last game, Yanmega, Crobat, they both knocked out each other. But Crobat did get the kill against the Mega Garchomp with the Cross Poison, because it obviously outsped because Mega Garchomp's a slow boy. So hopefully, that makes the Boston Typhlosions have just started this league. I think this is their 2nd or 3rd week now, and they've won all their games. So shout out to you. I think they're now pushing for the green spots. When they took over, they were just above the orange zone. So anything can happen in this league. It's so goddamn close. Obviously, New England Blizzard's over people that's Crobat, getting the 2 kills against the Mega Garchomp and the Mega. And obviously, the Volcanion got the kill against the Hawlucha at the end of the game to stop it sweeping late game. So that is a solid victory for the Boston Typhlosions there and David. Now, we move on to game number 4, where we have the Hungry Big Boys, coached by Hungry Bidoof, versus the Sydney Shabans, coached by Vic. So, yeah, Hungry Big Boys have brought Zapdos, Durant. As you can see in the chat, I'm surprised. He brought one of his steel types. He hasn't brought any yet. He brings week 1 he was just Mono Electric. Week 2 he brings Mono Electric plus Cloyster. And now it's week 7 and he brought Mono Electric, Cloyster and Durant. Madness. Absolute madness. He brings Durant. I don't know if Durant's going to help him win the game, but Durant is here and I'm so excited. He's brought a tier 1 Durant. It's amazing. But obviously, Hungry Boys, as you probably have guessed, have brought Durant, Cloyster, Zapdos, Zorora, Thundurus, Mega Manectric. All solid Mons, minus Zapdos, who's the worst Mon differential-wise in this PIDA Season 1. And the City Shamans have brought Zigguard, Infernape, Slurpuff, Jolteon, Tapu Lele, and Lucario. Now, obviously, Mono Electric. He's brought a Volabsorb Mon and a Zygarde. So, if the Hungry Big Boys can kill that Zygarde, can kill that Jolteon, these electric boys can have some fun. And you've got Durant, who's got Slurpuff and Tapu Lele. Durant can just body those with Iron Head. Just, yeah, super, which is very good. Cloyster can put away against the likes of the Zigguard, the Infernape. And obviously, Mega Manectric has got Flamethrower and whatnot, so we can deal with the Lucario. Zapdos can potentially put in work if he's got any flying type stab, and Zorora is just a beast. So, and obviously on the Sydney Shaman side, he's got Tapu Lele. Most leagues busted. This league tier 4 because it's trash. Psychic Terrain boosted Psychic types. can put in work against his team. Unburdened Belly Drum Slurpuff can put in work. Obviously, once I said Zygarde and Jolteon, could just like, if you don't bring him, you're stupid against Mono Electric and Poke Big Boy's team. He's got Inferno and Lucario as well to deal with the Cloyster, which he probably thought with bringing. So he thought, right, if Cloyster's down, I can do the work with Zygarde. I think that's probably his game plan. So let's jump into this game and see how it goes. So, Big believe Mega Electric versus the Jolteon. Mega Electric Mega Evolves, getting Intimidate Drop Off and goes for the Flamethrower, which does 45% to his Jolteon. As it goes for the Agility, he then Baton Passes out into his Zygarde. Now, it's very interesting because he goes for Hidden Power Ice, which does 69% to 69% to his Zygarde. Now, he Baton Passes out into Zygarde when he has -1 attack. So, the Zygarde now outspeeds his entire team, but it won't kill everything because it's -1 attack. But as it goes, 1,000 Arrows doesn't matter, just OHKOs anyway. Goes for the 1,000 Arrows against the Cloyster, it lives because of the -1 attack. Goes for the Icicle Spear, goodbye Zygarde, goodbye Zygarde. So that's one of the threats down for the Hungry Big Boys against this team. Goes for the Agility again, goes for the Icicle again. Just like that, both the two main threats for the Hungry Big Boys against this team are both gone by turn. What turn is this? Turn 5. They're both gone by turn 5, and you're thinking, Hungry Big Boys are probably going to win this game now. Probably going to win this game. Based on early game team. Goes for the Sidekick, kills the Cloyster, because not really useful against the rest of this matchup. Goes for Durant, misses because of goddamn hustle. And I'm thinking, Durant. Kevin Durant, you could have put a step yourself to stay in this team, because you've been pulled in this week to put in some work against his fairy types. Now, you're not going to stick around if you keep missing with your goddamn Iron Heads, you stupid Durant. He misses Durant, goes to the Focus Blast, lives on 5%, goes out into his Lucario as Durant goes for double team. He then Baton Passes out into his Zapdos as this Lucario goes for the Ice Punch, predicting this to switch in. The evasion boost does not matter. Goes for the Roost, trying to bait the miss with Ice Punch. So goes for the Roost, makes Ice Punch not very effective, or neutral, should I say. He loses his Flying type when he Roost. So he goes for Close Combat, misses the Close Combat as he goes for the Agility. So it's a +2 speed, +1 evasion. Goes for the Ice Punch to 68%. Gets the Freeze. Let it go. That is very annoying because the Zapdos could have potentially actually put in some work in this game. But he gets the Freeze, which is very unfortunate. As Zorora goes for Plasma Fist. Goodbye, Lucario. Lucario's gone. Goodbye. Out comes the Infernape. Out comes the Thunderous. Goes for the Earthquake. Lives it because it's a flying type. Out comes Tabolele as Thunderous goes for the Thunderbolt, which it does. Goes for the Thunderbolt again because it outspeeds. And down goes the Tabolele as Thunderous goes for Substitute. The Slurpuff goes for Belly Drum, Citrus Berry. Goes for Sub again. Now, he's probably thinking, oh, he's going to break my Sub. Let's go for Substitute because of the Play Rough. But forgetting to realise that Thunderous is Prankster, so the Substitute will always go first. So, yeah. There probably was a misplay there by the Hungry Big Boys, but you never know. Goes for the Play Rough to break the Sub, as the Thunderous goes for the Thunderbolt against his Slurpuff, and goes for the Thunder Wave to try and slow this Slurpuff down. Doesn't get the power, but gets the Play Rough miss, which I think is like 95% actually. So, could have potentially thrown the game towards the Hungry Big Boys there with that miss. Goes for the Thunderbolt, kills the Slurpuff. Out comes the Infernape, goes for the Thunderbolt, lives on 38%, goes for Fire Punch, lives. This thing could have potentially swept if this thing was Flare Blitz, but it wasn't. So down goes the Infernape, and the Hungry Big Boys win this game 3-0. So we're putting them, I think that's our second or third win for the Hungry Big Boys this season. Sydney Shamans, I think both these teams were in the orange zone of the league, so it was a relegation 6-pointer. Classic football analogy there. If you like football, yeah, champion. But yeah, so Hungry Big Boys MVP was in that game was definitely the Thunderous. In the late game sweep with the Thunderbolt, Sub, Citrus Berry, Burn. Got a Burn on it, which was irrelevant because it's a special attacker anyway, and Thunder Wave. So he played Thunderous really well late game to shut down that Slurpuff, to paralyze it. if the chance of it to be fully paralyzed and miss were like very low, because I think power is now at 25% now, or something like that, and there's a 5% miss. So combined, that would have been 30% chance. A Scald Burn. He had a Scald Burn chance to win that game, and he got it. So GG to him. Obviously, Cloyster was Icicle Spear. Cloyster was definitely very, very crucial bring because it killed both the threats to the team, which were the Zygarde and the Jolteon. So his electric type shenanigans can just go for full lever and do the most against his team. Zapdos once again did nothing, but it got frozen. So what are you gonna do? You just have to let it go. You just have to let it go. Zorora got a kill with a Plasma Fist, killing the Lucario, which could have potentially put in the work against his team. Well, obviously not this thing, but it had Ice Punch, so could have potentially put in the work. Durant, your first game, and you missed your Iron Head. That's all you did. You missed your Iron Head. If you land that Iron Head, this game could have been a 4-0 probably, or it could have been high differential. So Kevin Durant, you got carried this week. You need to step up your game next week. That's all I'm saying. And Mega Electric, Flamethrower, Hidden Pearl Ice. Hidden Pearl Ice did about 60-70% to the Zygarde. Even at -1, the finds an arrow kill. So Mega Electric's not the bulkiest of boys out there. I reckon that Zygarde was probably choice banded. It must have been choice banded, surely. Or we saw it use 1,000 arrows, so it could potentially have been choice banded. Lucario had Ice Punch close combat. Got the kill against the Zapdos because he got the freeze on it. Tapu Lele, Psychic, Life Orb, Focus Miss. Land the Focus Miss against the Zapdos. Not the Zapdos. The Durant. It lived on 5% and missed the Iron Head. But if it landed that Iron Head, it wouldn't have hit the Focus Miss. And this Durant would have... I keep talking about Durant. Johto wants to really ban pass to go into Zygarde. If the Zygarde didn't get the Intimidate drop off, potentially, Zygarde could have swept this game. Zygarde could have almost certainly swept this game. Slurpuff was Belly Drum sub, Citrus Berry, Play Rough. Like I said, Thunderous. Bidoof played the Thunderous amazingly to shut down that Slurpuff and Infernape. Obviously, we've got Earthquake, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, whatnot. Didn't do the most, but if it had Flare Blitz, could have potentially won the game, but who knows. So we move on to game number 5, where we have the Ottawa Garchomps, coached by Pesky Skitty, versus the Sugarpuff City Swirlix, coached by Skirfinape. Now, Ottawa Garchomps are rocking Azelf, Megalopony, Arcanine, Rhyperior, Heliolisk, and Skarmory, whereas the Sugarpuff City Swirlix are rocking Mega Venusaur, Salamence, Registeel, Ash Greninja, yes, Rabombi and Mienshao. So, as you can see in the chat, I think he made a misplay, I want to say. I don't know. I can't remember what trade he made. But I'll cover that next episode if he did do it or not. But he did make some trades for week 8 and week 7 before this game. I can't remember if he brought those trades or not. But if he did, we'll just have to wait and see if the trade actually made a difference. But let's jump to the game and see how this thing goes. Leaves with the Mienshao versus the Heliolisk. Switches out straight into his Arcanine to get Intimidate drop on this Mienshao. As he goes for the high jump kick, still does 44%. So maybe Reckless if it's a bulky Arcanine. Out into the Salamence to get the Intimidate drop off back. Gets for the Flare Blitz. Gets a crit and does 48%. Gets damaged by Recall. Lefty's Arcanine. Goes down to Rhyperior. Goes for the Fire Blast. You're probably predicting the Skarmory to come in. So he went for Fire Blast, but Rhyperior comes in. Out comes the Venusaur versus Rhyperior. Out comes the Heliolisk, predicting the Venusaur switching. Mega Volt. Volt switches out into probably Arcanine or Skarmory. That works as well. He goes for Elite Seed on against the Skarmory. Gets some HP back up. Out comes the Greninja as the Skarmory goes for Stealth Rocks. Out into his Heliolisk, predicting the Hydro Pump probably, or the Dark Pulse. That works as well. Life Orbed. Dark Pulse does 59%. Out comes the Heliolisk, the Infernape again, as the Heliolisk Volt switches out into the Azelf against this Mega Venusaur. Out comes Registeel, doing a Psychic type move, but goes for the Power Up Punch instead. So this Azelf now +1 attack versus this Registeel. Goes for Fire Punch, which is nothing. As Registeel Thunder Waves in return. Now, as the Registeel goes for Protect, Azelf goes for Fire Punch again. Get some leftovers recovery on his Registeel. Now, what I would have done here was probably power up punched again to get to +2. Knowing that Iron Head would do nothing to me. So I would have power punched again to get to +2, and then the fire punch would have killed, and then potentially could have put in the work against this thing. But Greninja outsped the Azelf and just got killed with Dark Pulse and gets the Ash Greninja off for getting the kill. Out comes the Megalopony. Out comes the Salamence. Intimidate drop off. Predicting the high jump kick, but goes for a return. Yes, it does. And Oko's the Salamence, even at -1. So Megalopony putting in some kills there. Out comes the Mean Xiao as he switches out into his Arcanine, getting the Intimidate drop off to shut down this Mean Xiao at -1. U turns out into his Ash Greninja versus the Arcanine. Gets some leftover recovery off. Goes down to Healers, predicting that water type move. Absorbs it with his Dry Skin. As Ash Greninja switches out to Mega Venusaur, because Healers can't really touch this thing. Except it can with Hyper Voice, and down goes the Mega Venusaur. Out comes Mean Xiao versus his Healers. Goes for the high jump kick. Don't want to risk anything switching in. So sacks the Healers disc off because it wasn't very useful now. Goes into his Rabombi as Archon goes for Morning Sun. Goes for the Bug Buzz, which does 28%. Probably wants to sack this thing off, trying to anyway. But I don't know what that plan was actually. I honestly don't know. Maybe to get an Ash Greninja in for free. So he goes down to Rhyperior as he misses the Hydro Pump, and he's going like, oh no, this is that Hydro Pump's myth is massive. But it doesn't matter because the next Hydro Pump lands and he just kills the Rhyperior, doing some lifeful damage. So out comes the Megalopony as he goes down to Mean Xiao, which I don't understand why he would do that, because return would just kill it. I would have just honestly, I would have sacked off to Greninja and killed to Mean Xiao afterwards, because if you would like Choice Scarf, you might have outsped it. And I mean, you would probably have pulled off to the Skarmory, but you would have loaded off like 2 or 1-0 instead of 3-0. But GD to with Garchomps, who are now, I think they were down the orange zone. I think the Sugar Puff 6 were at the bottom of the yellow. So I think the gap between them is like this now. They're like really close together. So next week could be, deciding whether who drops into orange and who stays in yellow. But obviously, late game sweep was definitely Megalopony with return, because all it clicked. Did put the work, really speedy bomb, outsped once the Registeel and the Rabombi and whatnot were gone. Just put in the work. Azelf was Power Punch, Fire Punch, dealt with the Registeel really well. Arcanine was a bulky boy to eat up the hits, shut down the Mean Xiao very well with Intimidate and being bulky boy. So like the high jump kick did like 30%, U-turn would do nothing. If it had Poison Jab, that would have done nothing. If it had Stone Edge or Rock Slide, because I've got Mean Xiao in the Johto, could have actually put in more work. Healers got the Volt Switch, Dry Skin Hyper Voice kill. Got the Hyper Voice kill against the Mega Venusaur because he kept putting Volt Switch against it, going, oh, this thing can't touch Venusaur. Let me just keep switching in against it. Hyper Voice, dead, gone. And they're like, good play. And Sami obviously put the rocks up to shut down the likes of the Rabombi. If had Sash or any Sash users out there, putting the work against them. And Ash Greninja putting the work for the Sugar Puff Seeks Works is getting the kill against the Azelf and the Rhyperior. And the Mean Xiao got the high jump kick kill against the Healisk. So that's game number 5. We now move on to game number 6, where we have the Honolulu Hawluchas, who did make that trade this week. Did not bring Dragonite to this game, so obviously bring it to future games. It's waiting in the wings to make its debut. Waiting in the wings wins the flying type. No, it doesn't matter. Honolulu Hawluchas versus New Haven Nuts, coached by QQ. Now, the Honolulu Hawluchas have brought Venomoth, Porygon Z, Alolan Muck, Mega Aggron, Blacephalon, and regular Garchomp, whereas the New Haven Nuts have brought Lati, Mega Lati, Dojo, Gyarados, and Rotom Heat. Same game, same team as one from last week. Same team as one from last week. I think because he's not in the bottom, he's got a meme team. I don't think he's taking it seriously. But, Johto's inbound. I don't know. Honestly, memeing. I mean, do you? If you want to meme, you can meme, but you'll be in Johto next season, and you might be able to meme. You might be able to win some more games if you're meme team, because you'll have not as like high tier battlers in there. So you never know. But obviously, let's jump to this game and see how it goes, because this video is getting long as already. So out comes the Venomoth versus the Dojo. Goes for the Brave Bird Venom off with a focus sash, and I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, Quiver Dance. Okay, Venom off, do you outspeak? No. Dojo is just a monster. Really just a monster. Brave Bird just goes, oops. There we go. So out comes the Mega Aggron versus Rotom Heat. It goes for Autotomize. So it's lightened. It's become nimble. Out comes the Muck versus the Rotom Heat. As it puts the light screen up. Goes for Volt Switch. Switches out into his Latios. As Muck goes for Knockoff and just OHKOs his Latios into another dimension. Out comes the Gyarados as it goes for Dragon Dance versus this thing. Goes for the Thunder Punch. OHKOs the Gyarados. That's 2 kills for the Muck. Out comes the Dojo. Goes for Jump Kick, which is 37%. Goes for Thunder Punch. OHKOs the Dojo. I probably would have went for Brave Bird because they're both neutral and Brave Bird would stab. But goes for the Volt Switch. Goes down to Latias. Goes for Knockoff. This is Mega Latias, so Knockoff doesn't kill it. Out comes the Mega Latias as it goes to Recover. And if I remember correctly, both these Latias have, all they have is stored power, so we can't touch this Muck. Which is very unfortunate because you can just keep spamming Ice Punch. You got the Poison Touch poison, so can potentially just, you know, put in the work. So it goes for Knockoff, puts a sub up, gets the Poison to Recovery, comes up, goes for Recover again. Knockoff, Poison, Recover, Knockoff, Poison, Recover, Knockoff, Poison, Recover, Recover, goes for Knockoff, goes for 30%, kills for Poison, down goes Latias. Out comes Rotom Heat, goes to Reflect, Knockoff. There goes the Light Clay. Light Screen, Rock Slide, does nothing. Reflect, because all it has is Volt Switch and doesn't want the Volt Switch out into his Latios and just kill that thing and sack that thing off. So you just spam to Reflect, as he does, and just, you know, tries to do something, which it doesn't because Muck just gets 5 kills. Out comes the Mega Lati, or is it Normal Lati? Normal Latias. Okay, goes for double team to try and sweep late game, but doesn't. Knocks off the Bright Powder, goes for Roost, goes for Knockoff again, gets the Poison Touch again. That's 2 Poison Touches for this Alola Muck. Reflect Wall's off. Latias goes for another double evasion boost. Doesn't matter. There's a Knockoff, and Alola Muck gets a 6-0 sweep. That was very, yeah, nothing really happened that game besides Muck just sweeping. Obviously, it was just mainly it's just Muck. It just had Knockoff for the Latias, had Thunder Punch for the likes of the Gyarados and Dojo, and had Rock Slide for the Rotom Heat. That's all you need to know. And its last move is probably, I don't know, what is it? Probably Poison type move, potentially, if he did switch things up. But like GG to the Hollow Hoochers. Once again, the new Beta League, winning once again. I think they're unbeaten so far as well, to my knowledge. So GG to them. And New Haven Nuts obviously rock bottom of the table with its meme team. So we'll just see how that turns out for them in the later weeks. Next up, we have the Pure Pidgeots, coached by JJ, versus Power Squad, who this week are coached by Strumpful. Now, the Pure Pidgeots are rocking Mega Scizor, Greninja, Buzzwole, Vileplume, Silvally, and Heatran, whereas the Power Squad are rocking Mew, Scolipede, Snorlax, Mega Slowbro, Manaphy, and Togekiss. Now, Power Squad's game is to set up as much as they can, bat and pass into like Snorlax or Mega Slowbro or Manaphy or whatever, and just win that way. That's why they've like won a game. That's why they win a 5-0, lose 5-0, win 4-0, lose 4-0. They go to polar extremes and are like rocking like mid-table sort of thing, if you want to say. So yeah, so obviously it works, but it doesn't work. If you plan for it, you can deal with it. If you know what you're planning for, which you do, because it's draft. So this is why I don't think Evasion's going to like stick around. I know it's allowed, but and whatnot, but over time it's gonna like people are gonna go, oh, there's no point. Evasion's luck based. I don't want luck based. I don't want luck. It's Pokemon. Luck's all the thing. So in the future seasons, potentially Evasion will like drop out and then like maybe come back in again or whatever. You don't know. You honestly don't know. But I've seen less Evasion now the weeks have gone on, because what we've seen, I think 1-2 teams this week use Evasion. Whereas like week 1, like every goddamn mother trucker was using Evasion. So we'll just see how this one goes, shall we? So let's jump into this game and see how it goes. So lead Scolipede versus Silvally. Silvally goes for Air Slash, Scolipede lives with a Sash. And he goes for Toxic Spikes, and I'm like, okay, Speed Boost. There we go. Goes for Endeavour. Very interesting. Just putting the Silvally on 1%. So I think that attack was to just go to Sash, Endeavour, Toxic Spikes would have killed it then the previous turn, so we would have got killed that way. But it didn't, because it just didn't. But Savali's down 1%. Next time it switches in, it's probably going to die. And he's got Whisper in his team, which I don't think he does. So out comes the Vileplume, who absorbs the Toxic Spikes as the Mew goes for Infestation against it. Misses the Super Fang with the Mew as it goes for the Sleep Powder. And there's the Sleep Powder again. Goes for Sludge Bomb. Just over half to this Mew as it gets the recovery damage off. Infestation stacking up. As the Vileplume goes for Giga Drain. Healing back up, as you do. And this Mew is just going to sleepy boy, stay in. Goes for Sludge Bomb. Stacks off the Mew against the Vileplume. And down goes the Mew. There comes Togekiss versus the Heatran. Goes for Air Slash, resisted. Does nothing to this Heatran as he goes out into his Manaphy. Predicting the Flash Cannon, which does nothing to Manaphy, obviously. Goes out into Togekiss, predicting the Grass type move. Goes for Z Bloom Doom. It's crit and does 42% to this Togekiss. Out comes this thing. Goes for Flash Cannon. Trying to play the mind games right now. Gets special defense drop on the Manaphy as he switches out into the Vileplume. As Manaphy goes for Calm Mind, gets left over to recovery. Out comes the Togekiss, beating the Giga Drain, which it does go for. Gets the system healing off. Gets obviously Life Orb set. Roost goes down to 90%. Goes for the Sludge Bomb. Okos does not matter. Doesn't matter. Life Orb, Vileplume putting in the work. Out comes Snorlax. Misses the Sleep Powder, which is very unfortunate. As Snorlax goes for Frustration and Okos the Vileplume. Where out comes the Scizor versus this thing. Mega Evolves. Goes for the Swords Dart, thinking the Scizor to switch out. Doesn't. Goes for Fire Punch, which does nothing. Goes for Super Power. Kills the fat bastard Snorlax. Down it goes. Out comes Manaphy. Out comes Greninja. Goes for the Scald to predicting that. Predicting the burn or whatnot. Switches out to Greninja. Goes for Dark Pulse. Protein Greninja obviously does 39%. Even Life Orb, that does nothing. Goes for the Calm Mind to try and set up. As he goes for Dark Pulse again. Gets a crit. That crit was very crucial because this Manaphy could have potentially done something if the crit didn't happen. So it goes for Dark Pulse against the Mega Slowbro. Does a lot of damage as it goes for Amnesia. Trying to do the most, but it doesn't do that because Dark Pulse did too much damage. But JJ back to win. He had a dip a few weeks ago. Now he's back to back wins, and now I think he's knocking back on the door of the green places. So he's getting very close to the top of the table and very close to the bottom of the table, which is what I like to see. Now, obviously, man of match of that game was the Greninja late game sweep, the Vileplume as well, 1v1 in the Mew, 1v1 in the Togekiss. Died to the Snorlax because it missed the Sleep Powder, but if it missed that Sleep Powder, Vileplume could have potentially swept. It probably would have done. Vileplume could have swept. It really could have done if it landed that Sleep Powder on that Snorlax, but unfortunately it didn't. But JJ still won 5-0 anyway, but Vileplume would have been on the beautiful thumbnail with a load of muck. Vileplume MVP. Mad. I can't believe it's week 7 and we've not had a single Mon which has been MVP twice yet. This is what this league... I love this league so much. It's amazing. So much stuff to talk about and whatnot. So, very interesting sex for Strongfall in the Power Squad. Obviously, the Mew was Infestation and Super Fang. So, trying to will it down, 1v1 it, but it didn't come up to fruition. Scolipede was Focus Sash Endeavour. Didn't do what it should have done because Silvally just said, oh, okay, I'll switch out now. Into the most. Mega Slowbro was Amnesia. If it wasn't Life Orb, potentially could have done something, trying to ward it. If he had the Amnesia up before Dark Pulse, it could have something happened, but it didn't. But yeah, so it's a GG to JJ and the Pure Pidgeot as we move on to our last game of the week, where we have the Victoria Victinage, coached by Devil, versus the Greenland Guzzlords, coached by Piplup. Now, last week, Greenland Guzzlords played the Hungry Big Boys, I did believe. I think they did. Or that was maybe the week before, where they randomised Mons and teams. I have a hinching feeling that they did it again. Because I watched the game earlier and I think that's what they did. So, I'm not sure. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? But Devils brought Sand and Sun with Drill Hippo. I can't believe Hippowdon's top best mod in tier 2. Differential wise, +8. It's a Hippowdon. It's a Hippowdon. Doesn't matter. It's got Zard Y, which can help the Venusaur. It's obviously got Chlorophyll. X-Cloud might have Flamethrower and whatnot to get that boosted as well. Boom Bursting can put in the work. And Hitmonlee can obviously also put in the work. So let's jump into his last game and see how this one goes. So out comes Hitmonlee versus the Meloetta. Goes for the Fake Out, which is 21% to this Meloetta. Obviously gets the flinch. Goes for the Close Combat. Out comes Meloetta, and that's like, goodbye Meloetta. Out comes Gyarados, Intimidate, because it's Mega. Obviously gets the Mold Breaker at -1. Goes for Close Combat, lives, and this is where I think he's got randomized Super Tech. He goes for Iron Tail, and I'm like, why? When you can just Waterfall it and kill it. The Devil's question as well, why do you not have Water Step? Because Iron Tail would have potentially killed, but Iron Tail would have killed, obviously, but it's got like no accuracy. It's like 75% accuracy. Why would you not click Waterfall? I'm lost. If he didn't have Water Stab or anything, maybe if we had it was Crunch, maybe, but you know it didn't put in the work. Jumpman goes for Earthquake, as Espeon goes for Mud Slap. I'm like, okay, he did a randomizer move things again. He really did because he got Mud Slapping Espeon and he had no Water Stab on his Mega Gyarados, so he must be done it again. So he goes for Earthquake. There's the Iappa Papa Perry. The Mud Slap again, having no action on his Hitmonlee. Goes for Earthquake, still lands it even at -half accuracy. Goes to Grass Knot and like, down goes the Hitmonlee. Mud Slaps, the Mega Charizard Wild. I'm like, he must have thought it was Zard X. Why'd you? Okay, just doesn't want to switch out. I'm confused. He goes for Endure to live the hit. There's the hidden power. Possibly HP Ground, predicting, I don't know. What hidden power that would have been? Maybe HP Electric, but there's the Solar Beam. Goes down to Terrakion, switch back out to Magearna, predicting the Solar Beam. He switches out into his Magneton, predicting the Flamethrower, which it lives with the Sturdy to wall down the Sun Turns. He switches out into his Bowdon, predicting an Electric type move, as the Magneton goes for Z Gigavolt Havoc, which like, Hippowdon just goes, oh, that's that happen. As it goes for Signal Beam, Hippowdon goes for Earthquake and knocks down this Hippowdon. This Magneton, sorry. Out comes the Tapu? I don't know why I said Terrakion. Goes for Earthquake, which is nothing to the Hippowdon, but Earthquake kills in return. Out comes Magearna. Out comes the Excadrill. There's the Ice Beam. If he got the freeze there, that would have potentially put in, Magearna potentially would have put in the work against the team, but it didn't. But the Victoria Victorines walk away with this game with a 5-0 victory. Obviously, MVP was Hitmonlee, surprisingly, because this Gyarados could have just popped it as soon as Meloetta died. Don't know. Honestly, don't know. Obviously, Hippowdon putting the work again, getting 2 kills. Hippowdon's a wall. Why is it getting so many kills? I don't understand. Excadrill putting the work late game to all the Magearna. And obviously, Megazord Y, Tailwind, Flamethrower, killing the likes of the Magneton and whatnot. So that's GG to Devil. I think that moves him up into the green spots, which we can look at now because we've now seen all the games. And we can look at the table where, as of week 7, Black TQMs are still undefeated, 7 wins, 0 losses, 42 kills, 21 feints, and it's got 21 feints, 21 differential, 21 points. 21! So Black TQMs are 21. Sinner Starlets are rocking second place with 18 points with 24 differential. More differential than Zombie, but less points because they lost to Pig this week, who Victoria Victinis and the Victoria Victinis and Went and Ho-Oh are rocking third and fourth place with 5 wins. 1 differential separating them, so potentially next week we could see some switcheroos, shenanigans. Obviously, then Boston Typhlosion, Pure Pidgeots, and the Honolulu Holuchas are all rocking 5th, 6th, and 7th place with 12 points, which all of those 3 can potentially jump up into 3rd and 4th place depending on how results go next week. And then we have Power Squad, Sugar Puff Seats, Wellixers, Boston Cyndaquil, New England Blizzards, Ottawa Garchomps, all rocking on 9 points. So either of those can potentially, with a good win next week, they could be in contention for green. If they lose, they could be in contention for orange. This is why this is why promotion relegations are amazing. It's so close because everyone's got something to play for. It's amazing. Then obviously the Hungry Big Boys and the City Shames are rocking 6 points. But if either of them win next week, they've got the chance to climb out of those orange zones. And then the Greenland Guzzlords and New Haven Nuts are rocking with 3 points. So need some work to do to try and get out because they're 6 points adrift of not being in the orange/red zone at the end of the season. So they need to step up their game if they want to stay in Kanto for next season. Now, that is a wrap for week number 7 of Kanto PIDA Weekly Show. If you have enjoyed, smash that like button down below. Be subscribed if you're not already. Leave a comment of if you're one of the coaches, you want to let me know something I missed, or what you want me to do next week. If you want me to do anything different, like talk about anything else or whatnot, let me know down in the comment section down below. Hopefully, 8 of you will pick up some of these next week. Obviously, because 8 will win. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.